Hello again, fellow adventurers. Welcome back to our journey through Middle-earth. When we last left our brave hobbit, Bilbo Baggins had just narrowly escaped the clutches of Gollum, armed with a mysterious magic ring that makes him invisible. He managed to slip past the goblins and find his way out of their treacherous mountain tunnels. But what about the dwarves? Bilbo, using his newfound invisibility, cautiously follows the goblin sounds and eventually stumbles upon a surprising scene. The dwarves and Gandalf are cornered by the great goblin and his minions. Just as things look their bleakest, Gandalf creates a flash of light, plunging the cavern into darkness and slaying the great goblin. In the ensuing chaos, the dwarves make a desperate run for it. Bilbo, still invisible, cleverly follows along, managing to stay with the group without them even knowing he's there. Once they finally break free into the daylight, the dwarves do a head count. Disaster! Bilbo is missing. They start to argue, with some believing he was a burden anyway. But Thorin, despite his initial doubts, is genuinely distressed. Just as they're about to give up hope, Bilbo appears as if from thin air, taking off the ring. The dwarves are astonished and deeply impressed. Bilbo, wanting to keep his ring a secret, tells them a slightly altered story about how he snuck past the guards. His reputation within the company skyrockets. He's no longer just the grocer from the Shire, he's a real burglar now. But their relief is short-lived. The howls of wargs, the fearsome allies of the goblins, echo through the woods. The goblins, furious about their leader's demise, have sent their wolf-like friends after them. A desperate chase begins. The company scrambles up a group of fir trees just as the wargs swarm below. They're trapped. The wargs guard the base of the trees, waiting for the goblins to arrive. Gandalf, ever the resourceful wizard, uses his magic to set pine cones on fire and hurls them down at the wargs, scattering them in a panic of flames and yelps. It's a brilliant but temporary solution. Just then, the Lord of the Eagles, having seen the commotion from his high mountain peak, swoops down with his kin. The great eagles, ancient and noble creatures who are no friends of the goblins, rescue the entire party, Gandalf, Bilbo, and all 13 dwarves from the treetops, just as the goblins arrive to set the trees ablaze. They are carried far away to the Eagles' Eyrie, a safe haven high in the mountains. From there, they can see their path forward, towards a strange, large rock formation known as the Carrick. The Eagles, having fulfilled their duty, leave them there. Gandalf announces that he must soon leave them on their own business, but first, he will take them to someone who can help. This someone is a mysterious and powerful figure named Beorn. Gandalf warns them that Beorn can be very dangerous if angered. He is a skin changer, sometimes a man and sometimes a great black bear. Gandalf devises a clever plan to introduce the dwarves to Beorn. He approaches Beorn's hall with only Bilbo, telling their tale of the goblin caves and the warg attack. Then, every few minutes, he has the dwarves arrive in pairs, interrupting the story. This trick keeps Beorn intrigued and amused rather than overwhelmed and angry by a crowd of uninvited guests. Beorn, in his man form, is a huge man with a thick black beard and immense strength. He listens to their story, occasionally grumbling but clearly interested. He provides them with food and lodging for the night, warning them not to wander outside after dark. That night, Bilbo hears immense growling and scratching outside, and he's certain it's Beorn in his bear form. The next day, Beorn is gone. Gandalf suspects he's gone to verify their story. Sure enough, Beorn returns 2 days later, now much friendlier. He had tracked down the goblin and warg meeting place and confirmed the company's tale. He now promises his aid, offering them provisions, ponies for their journey to the edge of Mirkwood forest, and crucial advice. His most important warning? Do not, under any circumstances, stray from the path in Mirkwood. He also warns them against drinking or bathing in the enchanted black stream that flows through the forest. With Beorn's supplies and guidance, the company sets off for the foreboding forest of Mirkwood, the next great obstacle on their quest to the lonely mountain. At the very edge of the dark tangled woods, Gandalf bids them farewell. He has urgent business in the south and cannot accompany them further. He gives them one final, solemn warning to stay on the path before disappearing, leaving the dwarves and a very frightened hobbit to face the darkness of Mirkwood alone. The air grows heavy, the light fades, and strange noises echo from between the ancient, gnarled trees. The forest seems to watch them with 1,000 unseen eyes. Their journey into one of the most dangerous places in Middle-earth has begun. They travel for days in the oppressive gloom. The path is narrow and the forest is endless. Food and water run low, and their spirits sink even lower. One night, they see faint lights and hear singing off the path. Forgetting Beorn's warning in their desperation, they leave the trail, hoping to find food and help. They stumble upon a feast of wood elves, but as soon as they step into the clearing, the lights vanish and the elves disappear, leaving them lost in the dark. This happens 3 times, each time leaving them more disoriented and hopeless. During one of these ill-fated detours, Bombur, the fattest dwarf, falls into the enchanted black stream. Just as Beorn warned, he instantly falls into a deep, magical sleep. The others have to carry his dead weight, a terrible burden that slows them down and drains their remaining strength. Exhausted and starving, they are at their wits' end. It is in this weakened state that they are ensnared by the forest's most terrifying inhabitants. Bilbo, separated from the others, wakes up to find himself being wrapped in a sticky, strong thread. A giant spider is trying to cocoon him for a later meal. In a surge of terror and courage, Bilbo fights back. Using his small sword, which he later names Sting, he kills the spider. This is a huge turning point for Bilbo. For the first time, he has fought and won a battle all by himself. He feels like a new person, braver and more capable than he ever imagined. Using his ring to turn invisible, he then discovers a horrifying sight. All the dwarves have been captured and hung in spiderwebs, slowly being poisoned. What follows is a brilliant display of hobbit courage and cleverness. Bilbo uses his invisibility and stone-throwing skills to taunt and distract the giant spiders, luring them away from their prey. He sings songs to enrage them, drawing them on a wild chase through the woods while he doubles back to cut the dwarves free. It's a chaotic and desperate battle, but with Bilbo's leadership, the dwarves fight back with renewed hope, and they manage to drive the spiders away, but their victory is cut short. In the confusion of the fight, Thorin Oakenshield has gone missing. What happened to him? And have they truly escaped the dangers of Mirkwood? We'll have to find out in the final part of our tale. The path to the Lonely Mountain is fraught with more peril than they could have ever imagined. Thanks so much for joining me on this leg of the journey. If you're enjoying this adventure through Middle-earth, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the epic conclusion. We'll see you next time as we face down elves, escape from dungeons, and finally come face to face with the dragon, Smaug himself. See you then.